Don't listen to this alone in the dark. You're not alone where you're sitting right now, even if it feels like it. And if you hear someone shift behind you after this starts, don't turn around. I remember the bus already being there when I got to the stop. Engine running low, like it had been waiting longer than it should have. Doors open, but no one getting on or off. Just that steady hum and the smell of warm air pushing out onto the sidewalk. It was late enough that the street had gone quiet. No cars passing, no voices. Just the bus idling and the driver sitting up front, hands on the wheel, not looking at anything in particular. I stepped on because it was my route and it always ran late, and nothing about it felt wrong yet. Just empty in that normal way late buses are. A few lights flickering overhead, the seats worn, the floor slightly sticky under my shoes. I tapped my card, heard it beep, and the driver didn't say anything, didn't even look at me, just kept staring forward like he was waiting for something else, something that hadn't happened yet. I moved down the aisle and sat about halfway back, close enough to the middle that I could see the front if I needed to, far enough that I wasn't right under the lights that kept flickering every few seconds. The doors closed behind me with that heavy air sound, and the bus pulled off slow, like it didn't want to leave the stop, like it was being dragged forward instead of driven. I remember thinking it was strange how empty it was for that time of night. Even late, there were usually a few people, someone heading home, someone asleep against the window. But this was just me and the driver, and the sound of the engine filling in everything else. I leaned back, watching the reflection in the window more than the street outside, just out of habit. And that's when I noticed something I hadn't seen when I got on, something that didn't match what I remembered. There was someone sitting all the way at the back. I didn't see them get on, and I would have noticed if they had. The doors had been open the whole time I was standing there, and there wasn't anyone behind me on the sidewalk. But now there was a shape in the last row, sitting low, head slightly forward, like they were leaning just enough to stay out of the light. I told myself I just missed them, that they were already there and I didn't look far enough back, but it didn't feel right, because the bus had felt empty in a way that isn't just about sight, it's about presence. And now that feeling was gone. Now it felt like someone was behind me, watching, even though I hadn't turned to look directly. I kept my eyes on the window, using the reflection, trying to see without making it obvious. And the flickering lights didn't help. Every time they dimmed, it swallowed the back half of the bus. And every time they came back, I caught pieces of that shape. The outline of shoulders, something like arms resting too still, and a head that didn't move at all. No phone glow, no shifting, no sign of breathing. Just there, fixed in that seat like it had been placed there and left. The bus hit a small bump and I heard it. Not from the engine, not from the road, but from behind me. It was quiet, like it came from deep in the throat, but it didn't sound like a cough or a breath clearing. It sounded wrong, like air being forced through something that wasn't shaped for it. I froze without meaning to, my hands tightening against the seat, and I didn't turn. I just listened, waiting for it to happen again so I could tell myself it was nothing, just someone sick, someone tired. It didn't come again right away, and that made it worse. I shifted slightly, just enough to change the angle of the reflection. And that's when I saw that the head at the back wasn't angled down like I thought. It was facing forward, but the chin was too low, like it was tucked too far into the chest, and the shoulders were higher than they should have been, raised and tight, making the whole shape look compressed, wrong in a way I couldn't explain without staring directly at it, which I didn't want to do. I leaned forward just a little, trying to see the driver, needing something normal, something to ground me. And that's when I realized he hadn't looked away from the road once, not even at stops, not even when the bus slowed down and paused, like it should be letting someone on. The doors didn't open. No one got on. No one got off. The bus just kept moving, stopping where it was supposed to, then continuing again like it was following a routine that didn't need people anymore. "Hey, you not stopping?" My voice sounded too loud in the empty space, and the driver didn't answer right away, just kept his hands on the wheel, knuckles tight, and then, after a few seconds, "Stay in your seat." It wasn't loud, but it carried, like the bus itself pushed the words back toward me. And there was something in the way he said it that didn't sound like instruction. It sounded like warning. I swallowed and sat back, my eyes drifting again to the window, because I didn't want to turn around. Not fully. Not yet. The lights flickered again, longer this time, and when they came back, the shape in the back had changed. It was leaning forward more. Not a lot, just enough that I could see more of it. The shoulders rounded, the arms hanging lower between its knees, and the head tilted slightly to one side now, like it was trying to line something up, like it was trying to see me better without moving too fast. I felt my chest tighten, my breathing going shallow without me realizing it, and I pressed my back into the seat, trying to make myself smaller, like that would matter. Then it made the sound again. Closer this time. Not close enough to be near me, but closer than it should have been without me seeing it move. I couldn't stop myself then. I turned, slow, just enough to look over my shoulder, not fully facing it, just a glance, just enough to confirm what I was seeing in the reflection wasn't my eyes playing tricks on me. It was sitting there, but it didn't look like a person. The shape was wrong, the arms too long, hanging past where the knees should have ended, the fingers stretched and resting against the floor between its feet, and the head. The head was too narrow at the top and too wide at the jaw, like it had been pulled in opposite directions. Its mouth was open slightly, not enough to see inside, just enough that I could tell it wasn't closing. And its eyes were on me, not blinking, not shifting, just fixed in a way that made it feel like it had been looking at me long before I turned. I snapped back forward, my heart hitting hard in my chest, my hands gripping the seat in front of me. Okay. I didn't know what I was saying it for, just trying to keep myself steady, trying to think of something normal, something logical. But nothing about it made sense, and the bus kept moving, not slowing, not stopping in any way that mattered. "Driver, what is that?" He didn't answer right away, and when he did, it was quieter than before, like he didn't want it to hear him. "Don't look at it." That didn't help. That made it worse, because now I knew he knew it was there. I stared forward, forcing myself not to turn again, but I could feel it. Not physically, not touching me, but the way you feel someone staring at you from behind. That pressure between your shoulders, that awareness that you're being watched, measured. The bus lights flickered again, and this time when they came back, I saw something move in the reflection that made my stomach drop. It wasn't in the back anymore. It was closer, not by a full row, not enough to explain how it got there without me hearing it move. But it was no longer at the very end. It had shifted forward, still sitting, still in that same posture, but closer to me than before. Close enough that I could see more detail in the reflection. The way its arms bent slightly wrong at the elbows, the way its head twitched in small, controlled movements, like it was adjusting its focus. The sound came from behind me again, deeper this time, heavier, and I felt it more than heard it, like it pressed into my back and stayed there for a second too long. I stood up without thinking, my legs moving before my mind caught up, and I stepped into the aisle, not turning, just moving forward toward the front of the bus, toward the driver, because distance felt like the only thing that might help, even though I knew it probably wouldn't.
Stop the bus!
The driver's hands tightened on the wheel.
Sit down!
I didn't. I took another step forward. And that's when I heard it shift behind me. Not a full movement, just a change, like weight being lifted and set down again. I turned then, fully this time. It was standing in the aisle. I didn't see it stand. I didn't hear it get up. It was just there, closer than it should have been, arms hanging almost to the floor, its head tilted at that same angle, eyes still locked on me, mouth still slightly open, and its body looked like it didn't fully hold its own weight, like it leaned forward too much but never fell. I stepped back, hitting the pole near the front, my hand gripping it hard. No. It took a step forward, slow, deliberate. Its foot hit the floor with a sound that didn't match the movement. I felt something in my chest tighten, like the air had been pulled out of the bus, and I turned to the driver again, desperate.
Open the door! Open it!
He shook his head, just once. It doesn't get off. That was the moment I understood. It wasn't riding the bus. It was part of it. Another step. Closer. The aisle felt narrower, like the walls had shifted in without moving, like there wasn't enough space to get around it, even though there should have been. I tried anyway. I moved to the side, pressing myself between the seats, trying to slip past. But as soon as I did, it moved too. Not faster, not rushing, just adjusting, blocking without effort, like it knew exactly where I was going before I did. Right in front of me now, close enough that I could see the way its skin pulled tight in some places and hung loose in others, the way its fingers curled slightly as it lifted one hand, not reaching out, just holding it there, like it didn't need to touch me to stop me. I backed up again, my legs shaking, my breathing breaking apart.
Stop! Just stop!
It didn't. It took another step, and the bus kept moving. No stops. No doors opening. No way out. I felt my back hit the driver's barrier. Nowhere left to go. And it stood there in front of me, head tilting a little further, like it was studying me, like it was deciding something. Then it made that sound again. And everything in me locked up. I couldn't move. I couldn't speak. I could only stand there while it leaned closer. Not fast, not sudden, just slow enough that I felt every second of it, every inch it closed between us. I remember the last thing I saw clearly was its eyes, because they didn't change, not once, not the entire time. They stayed on me, and they're still on me now. If you're listening to this, and you're sitting somewhere you can't see behind you, you might not be alone anymore. If you have a horror story of your own, please feel free to drop it in the comment section. You never know, the next story could be yours. Subscribe to The Vault so you don't miss what comes next.